Everybody. This is Casey Tyler Henson, and I'm going to start posting my papers on YouTube. This one is titled Nobel Peace Prize is the Beginning. This letter is to a savage race of humanity for allowing atrocious acts to happen and be created. Hence why this letter you are now receiving is made. If you take me seriously, which you should unless unprofessional and cancer to this world by silence and death, then you should receive a Nobel Peace Prize for listening to your fellow man and doing what you know is right. I remember telling my high school teacher my freshman year, fed up completely with unprofessionalism and targeting. Terrorists are created because they are intentionally, since way before high school, trying to degrade me and make me suffer in many ways and be unsuccessful. And I also said that I expect you to do your job because these schools were seemingly tyrannical and over some controlled by others, being fed information about my life and attacking me based off it, whether true or not, and trying to create bad behavior. But they get no repercussions legally, while I suffer until hopefully soon I achieve justice. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has resolved that the Nobel Peace Prize for 1986 should be awarded to the author Elie Wiesel. Wiesel is a messenger to mankind. His message is one of peace, atonement, and human dignity. His belief that the forces fighting evil in the world can be victorious is a hard-won belief. The 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush, said, "The war on terrorism is a war against evil." When you recite all these papers, I believe resolutely that these are keys to ensuring the terrible T's do not happen. Terrorism, treason, tyranny, torment, torture. The world cannot lie and preach peace, but disregard the human mind, heart, and soul, which is on onslaught daily. Peace comes from love and nutrients like healthy environment, communication, etc. Not double standards, not domination. This is my best rough draft, meaning legal experts and leaders can make this become a reality. As for me, I just hope it gets in the I hope I get in the right hands and something is done. I hope my situation is resolved without injustice and me further pushed down or silenced to suffer further as I have for 23 years. I made these papers with personal experience. These papers make mass collaboration, social guerrilla warfare, and targetization impossible. And I made it simple because for the victim it is actually really hard to say something, hence why you're being told now, and I'm forced because of the relentless beating away of who I am. They may think they know the truth, but are sadly and unfortunately for me, wrong. And I'm trapped in the middle of something forced upon me and vulnerable. I hope good is a strong force, and bad people want to pervert the right choice. But I promise truth is the only right one, and my life is not truth. But I promise truth is the only right one, right choice. And my life is not truth, but sabotage by others. The 44th President of the United States of America, Barack Obama. Change will come. Change will not come if we wait for it. Son of a bitch. I'm sorry. I don't have my contacts in. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. I firmly believe approach is very important, but my life is made difficult and degraded. People want me to fail at life and suffer. They succeeded, and it is disgraceful. I must be blunt. I must have justice. They stripped me of liberty in the pursuit of happiness and perverted the laws and rights of the land. I am very vulnerable. Behavioral laws will prevent the obstruction of justice, and prevent terrorism, treason, crime creation. Polygraphs must be mandatory or focused on better technology, as well as legal professionals understanding how to read them. The FBI wrote a letter to Martin Luther King, the civil rights leader, blackmailing and telling him to step down from something. In the year 1964, I believe he thought the letter suggested that he kill himself. And I believe he had good reason to think his life in danger because of the times, as well as the letter showing incompetency as to what the FBI's job is and what the law is. I am on an FBI watch list, in my opinion, as an insurance policy to act like they do their jobs. The FBI are a part of the judicial system and not upholding the 3 words on their seal. The FBI is federal, meaning they should have a metaphorical radar, and if any authority from local to federal steps out of line or above the law, they swoop into action and protect the people. The FBI are framing me in the last stages as being a Muslim. I believe I can prove this, but definitely something. Whether it is the FBI or civilians, the FBI also had in 1976 a limited FBI director leadership to 10 years because it was shown power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's a quote from Acton's maxim. In my opinion, the FBI should be a high standard job and is not for anyone who wants the position, but for people who are loyal to law and morally, psychologically, emotionally, and behaviorally fit. They have put me on a watch list without getting the facts or truth. Just others lying after a lifetime of injustice, meaning abuse and neglect intentionally to have me brought down in life. Truth detection should be their job, no exceptions. The FBI have had a recent scandal recently, which people act like is hot news and not a bad thing, with the Russia-Trump collusion, which was just a made-up thing. P.S. Watch the story change 5 times from when I heard that on the news. So if it's not current, well, I'm sorry. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 1 through 3. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to the law before the unjust, and not before the saints? Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world would be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Do ye not know that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? If anyone has anything to say about me, I want you to know people can flip the script, but at the end of the day, we need polygraphs done because flipping the script can be said by anyone. But there is only one truth, and the truth will set you free. The victim's free, not the terrorists. Your degree and title to not make you above me, and this is valid. And I would love to take a polygraph. They don't want to. To not care about conduct of the children and future generations, to allow corruption to flourish. You are saying you do not care about crime or terrorism. You are not uprooting the catalyst to bad things. Terrorism comes from failure, injustice, and poor government. Papers like predestination are theoretically in 3 to 4 generations, 1 generation meaning 18 years. You will create a better world and people will be better, as well as the old mentalities growing lower and lower by outlasting it. And having people grow up and being less able to commit atrocities as well. This letter is not to pretend to be clever. They have wasted my intelligence and capability of academia and my life by collaboration and conditioning me premeditatedly since I was a child. Whatever anyone claims about me, what I want in life, how I want to live my life, or anything, I would disregard it. Because I have been targeted by someone. I stayed positive in my childhood because I forgot a lot of the abuse intentionally. This is all temporary. I'll escape it when I turn 18. I thought the military would be an easy way to escape the injustice. I thought I could find a way to get my life back that I was stripped. I was never truly happy as a child and cried multiple times saying no one loves me. And I'm not saying this because they want anything good for me or my life. Bottom line, your behavior matters and justice is breached. Predestination is a law, but not really. You would hear the word premeditating and leads to the perversion of the law and obstruction of justice. In my opinion, predestination, if allowed and not made into law, should be treason due to giving the judicial system unlimited power or tricking the judicial system to do what others want. My theoretical solution to the problems we face as a human race today and will unquestionably make an impact for the better if taken seriously and not a pushover. Polygraph test mandatory. A digital archive held in every state capital to store for at least 150 years, but ideally forever. It would not take up too much space with today's technology. No blind spots. Priorities would be governmental buildings, schools, protected children. No blind spots. Behavioral laws. Predestination made into law now. And those are the 4 or 5 things. Democracy fallen. Democracy fails when we have breaches in government, to have crimes against humanity, political abuse of psychiatry, psychological warfare, to attack the judicial system, and make limited power unlimited power to suit their needs by collaboration, fear, and conditioning. It is treason to democracy. Predestination is a crime against humanity, a Holocaust 2.0. It is treason and should be considered a severe offense for trying to destroy a life and make a joke of justice. Everything articulated in this will be clarified in later pages. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Casey Tyler.